For years, thousands of Lagos residents have complained about exorbitant rent prices. With no warning, no negotiations, landlords tell you pay up or vamoose. And the craziest part is it's becoming normalized, and not just in Lagos, but across several African countries. Now imagine a different world, a world where rent prices are capped and fixed. I know it sounds simple, but it's a lot more complex than you think. Let's dig into it. Let's start with what's currently happening today. In Lagos, rent has become one of the biggest stress points for a lot of young professionals and families. In some areas, people have reported seeing a 50, 100, sometimes a 200% increase in rent. For example, look at the story here by popular social media influencer who reported seeing a 600% increase in his rent and as a result had to shut down his restaurant business. 600%. That completely blows my mind. And it's not just rent increases. Oftentimes, renters are required to pay 2 years in advance, which, according to the Lagos tenant law, is absolutely illegal. Now let's move to Ghana. During the recent inflation crisis, a lot of landlords began charging in US dollars. And while salaries remained the same, rents kept increasing. Similarly, moving on to Kenya, especially Nairobi, where rapid urbanization is pushing demand higher every year. And so more people are moving in, but housing supply isn't keeping up. So people are moving away from city centers, spending more money commuting, more time on transport, and losing valuable time every day. So when we talk about rent increases, it's not just about money, it's about the way people live. Now imagine a completely different system. A system where rent increases are only allowed once a year and are capped at a fixed rate. So say 5 or 10%. So no sudden increases, no panic relocations, and people could actually plan their lives long term. So they could save money, they could budget properly, stay in the same neighborhood and build a sense of community. And for small businesses, this makes the difference between survival and collapse. Because let's be real, a lot of businesses don't always fail because they're not profitable. Sometimes they fail because the rent just suddenly becomes unaffordable. So here's where the conversation gets rather uncomfortable. Because a lot of landlords will tell you, while this sounds good on paper, it is not practical. Because construction costs are rising, inflation is unstable, and maintenance costs are increasing. And in cities like Lagos and Accra, demand for housing is growing much faster than supply. And so, from that perspective, if you cap rents, you only discourage investment. And if investors are not building, the housing shortage would even get worse. But critics argue the system is already failing, but just in a different way. Because what we're seeing is not just a supply issue, it is also a priority issue. Investors are building luxury estates, high end properties, and investment focused properties. But affordable housing is still limited. So you end up with a strange reality where buildings exist, but access does not. And some properties even sit empty, held as investments, while millions of people still cannot afford rent. So here's the question again: should housing be a basic need or just another investment? And this isn't just happening in Africa. Cities around the world are trying out different solutions, ranging from rent caps, public housing, and short term rental regulations. But every approach comes with trade offs. Too much control and investors pull back. Too little control and people get priced out. So finding the balance isn't exactly an easy task. And that's because when rent becomes unpredictable, it changes cities entirely. People move further away, commutes get longer, and communities break apart. And over time, cities start to divide between those who can afford to stay and those who are constantly being pushed out. So let's be real for a second. If rent keeps rising like this, who are African cities actually being built for? Because it's starting to feel cities are no longer designed for people who live there, but for those who can afford to invest there. So answer this question honestly. Should housing be a business or a fundamental right? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And for videos like this, please subscribe to Africa's Top Tier. See you next time.